What are you doing, kid? Your actions will only result in your death. You must know this.
You could have amassed such power, and now you choose to throw it all away.
Hello my friends, today we will take a look at the Illuminati symbolism found in the game The Evil Within 2. Before we get into the video, it is to be noted that in the game you do fight against evil and defeat it. But I think there is more to it, as there are some very specific occult symbols used by the secret societies as well as predictive programming inside of this game. In the intro, we see the Bethesda logo unveiled with the cube of Saturn as always, while Tango Gameworks makes an all-seeing eye reference. For me, Mobius represents the Illuminati, and the characters Theodore Stefano, Myra's negative form and the Administrator are basically instruments to express the same Luciferian doctrine.
No, this is not happening. I'm here, Lily. I'm here.
So as we go through these flames, notice the butterflies on the wall and on Lily's door. The butterfly is a symbol of MKUltra, which stands for mind control. Here you have a better look without all the flames from a late game section. Also, I'm asking myself, is Lily just a clever way of masking the name Lilith, which is a demon of the night who steals babies in the darkness?
We can rewrite history if we want to. Staging a death is child's play.
The Beacon Mental Hospital incident was an unfortunate setback. But we used the knowledge gained to build a new and vastly improved STEM system. Imagine it. Millions of minds connected together. Happiness for one is happiness for all. This machine, this miracle, will allow our species to achieve greatness.
I believe the STEM project could happen in our near future. The STEM project is a reference to MKUltra experiments and an example of predictive programming to get us used to this type of technology so that when it happens in the real world, we would be not so surprised by it. Here we see Sebastian falling into the depths of his own consciousness, but for me the symbolism represents the belly of the beast, which is why we see a lot of water elements. It represents the womb or the barren land.
Is this... Where am I?
To support this claim, there is also the House on the Hill or House of the Rising Sun symbolism. This is basically the metaphorical house where Satan and his demons live. Here are some musical examples. Hopefully my video won't get blocked. Now we get teleported in our office, a safe zone, where we begin our quest and where we will be able to save our game progress. This safe zone has checkerboard floor and a picture with Lily's drawing of Sebastian, again with the MKUltra butterfly on it.
Construct is called your room. It's a safe zone that was formed from
A mirror. Just like Beacon. Should be a way out. Why couldn't my memory just make regular doors?
This mirror is what we use to travel through the game. Real-life magicians believe that the black scrying mirror, or magic mirror, is a powerful psychic tool. It can bring the user hidden knowledge and clairvoyant ability, and can act as a portal to other planes of existence. The fact that in this game we have it above the checkerboard floor is also very mysterious. Check out this Masonic style door. Can never have enough of them, right? Well, it leads to a room. Which has another door that leads to room 102. So did we have before the room 101? In that case, you should know that the number 101 is very important. George Orwell in his book 1984 wrote that room 101 is the worst thing in the world. Immediately after we pass through room 102, we get to see this picture of one eye. A man murdered inside a cube. Once you enter the cube, the laws of time and space are bent, which for me makes the connection that this might be Cube of Saturn's symbolism. Right next to it on the wall there is another bigger one-eye picture. Congratulations, Truth Seeker, thank you for taking our spiritual acuity test. We're pleased to welcome you to the next level of knowledge. It looks like Stefano, our villain who is a fan of one-eye symbolism, also likes to murder people and immortalize them inside of these cubes. Notice also the black and white floor pattern. It's not a checkerboard, but it's in the same line of symbolism from my point of view. I've also noticed it being used in Twin Peaks, a popular strange movie series from the 90s. There are of course pictures of other things, but you will notice a predominant use of eyes in Stefano's realm. Right behind this pendulum, if you go up the stairs, there are more eyes on the wall, and the pattern continues as you make your way up to Stefano's work of art entitled Rebirth.
Christ.
Not only we have the black and white floor, but we also have Roman style pillars that are also used by Freemasons a lot. Then we go down the elevator and into a place with checkerboard floor, dead bodies, and the all-seeing eye.
Shit.
I can't help but have the feeling that I'm taking part in some kind of Masonic ritual when I play this game. As a loading mechanism between maps, we have this system of computers with a tree logo that we can use to teleport. The network is called the Marrow. I wonder if the tree is actually a symbol for the Kabbalah tree of life. The first time I got to use this network, I was actually teleported to 322 Cedar Avenue, which for me is another occult symbol thrown in my face, as 322 is the number for Skull and Bones secret society, which important politicians such as George Bush and John Kerry were a part of.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America?
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Here's another MK Ultra butterfly, and this paranormal wall marking. In this next scene we get to see Stefano during his art creation progress.
A work in progress, but soon it will be perfect. All it requires is my inspiration and your blood. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Don't move. Oh shit! Oh shit! Help! Somebody help me! I said don't move. Now, let's make some art.
Tough luck, Ryan. This is supposed to be art, more like an execution.
Sadly, a fascination for this type of art already exists in the real world. We are getting more immoral and attracted by darkness rather than light. Pop stars bathe in blood, fashion is getting more and more strange. Who knows what these elites do behind public eyes?
Damn it. Where did he go?
After another jump scare from Stefano, we find ourselves in another corridor leading to an all-seeing guy again. Next we see the lack of empathy that O'Neill expresses towards people, and it is also an example of how the elite see us.
An Alpha 1 emergency, huh? Can't say it's the worst idea I've heard.
You're a real piece of work, O'Neill. You know that?
I'm just being a realist. You can't save everybody. It's impossible. Mobius made emergency plans for a reason.
If they never made this twisted machine, they wouldn't need emergency plans in the first place.
Maybe so. But look at what they've done. It's pretty incredible.
Mobius, the Illuminati, don't care about people dying or collateral damage to achieve their goals. So how do we upgrade our weapons or strength? Well, we use the scrying mirror to teleport to our checkerboard floor office, and there we strap ourselves to a chair willingly and inject our bodies with some green goo that we collected from the dead zombies.
Detective Castellanos, what a pleasant surprise. Welcome back.
This scene again reminds me of some sort of MKUltra experiment, but yeah, similarly to how in Doom we inject ourselves with Argent energy, here too we use the energy of the evil to defeat the evil. Isn't that quite a paradox? Right in front of O'Neill's safe house there is a church, but this church doesn't have a cross sign but rather a double X pattern. After we get in this church, well... the priest seems to get possessed, and behind him there is an altar with a dead zombie on top with this double X cross stuck in it.
Union was built with a sort of backstage area, so Mobius operatives could observe the test subjects in secret.
In the real world we are also observed in secret by everyone. Advertisers, government, shadow elite.
They target ads to us based on our preferences and our behavior online. And that means we're under constant surveillance in exchange for these services that we get for free.
And we are also being programmed by the use of neurolinguistics. Oh wait, we have this in the game also. Mr. Wallace's use of neurolinguistic programming creates recruits that are far more mentally malleable and stable than previous STEM candidates. MU Center recruits are also willing to voluntarily cut off familial ties, which eases the pressure on Mobius operatives working in law enforcement. It is my recommendation that MU Center recruitment becomes the Mobius standard for all new citizens. It has been a resounding success.
What is that?
Black goo is a topic we discuss in the Truth Seeker community, so when I play a game and see a monster that is made of a combination between black goo and all-seeing eye, it seems to me like our speculations are more than materialized. More Masonic doors, this time with separated pillars too. I mean, what more can I ask? As long as it gets me closer to you, I'll play your game. That's exactly what I say. Playing these games and watching their movies has taught me a lot about what they believe and how to avoid their ideology, because it's so easy to identify now. White goo has also made its appearance. This is the first time I see a white goo monster. I don't have much to say on this, but I can say a few things about the black goo. Black goo is self-replicating programmable matter that with the advancement in AI it becomes self-aware and destroys everything in its path. Alternatively, from what I've seen, it is the dark consciousness that Illuminatis communicate with and make pacts with to have more power and eventually become immortal. Check out my video on the game Prey, where human technology is combined with Typhon black goo energy to expand the lives of the elite. The game logo is a lens with a triangle made of light, so again black goo, all-seeing eye, and no one talks about it. Inside of a bar with checkerboard floor, this demon is triggered that chases you into the beacon version of the STEM technology. It looks like it was made in the 50s, exactly when MKUltra was taking place. In the same bar there is a poster with Route 666 and some other posters from which one has a Baphomet on it. Here is some more of Stefano's art. I think this is a very dark version of the Libra sign. I have found that Saturn rises in the Libra. So again, this connection to Saturn and how the elite worship it so much. To get out of Stefano's puzzle, you have to take the key from the all-seeing eye. Here is another one of his pieces. Let's hear some words from Stefano as he talks about his timeless art form.
This chase has been entertaining. But even the greatest entertainments must come to an end. I commend you for making it this far. If perseverance were an art form, you would be a master. He won't be around much longer. My work, however, will continue. Behold, my latest creation. No! Beautiful. A bouquet of flesh and blood.
You sick bastard!
How will I ever top this? Your death will be art. It's time to put a signature on it.
So you fight the one-eye Stefano with his one-eye black goo monster, surrounded by pictures of eyes, and let's not forget about the enemy awareness sensor that is also displayed with an eye.
Last photo.
Come to Mother, Lily. I will protect you.
Myra?
Get away! You can't have her!
Now I know this is Myra trying to protect Lilith from everyone else, but what if in this scene we are actually seeing a Lilith spirit stealing a kid? I believe the Illuminati talk through images which can tell a story outside of the story. I'm not 100% on this meaning, but let me know what you think. Next up I have a collection of XX symbolism and words of wisdom from Theodore, Stefano's controller.
This symbol looks familiar. Like I've seen it in the real world.
It's funny how the writer of the script is playing with us. Of course, this symbol is present and dominates the real world. This symbol is basically used a lot by companies, video games, metal bands, secret societies, etc. I would say it's the second most important symbol after the all-seeing eye.
You will be rewarded.
Here we assemble a XX ourselves, which opens a fountain of blood that opens a gate. which is funny because the double X is actually a symbol for a gate opening, a gate to the black world from which the Antichrist will emerge. Which is why the square and compass also forms a double X and is placed between two pillars or a doorway. Which is why here we can see the double X and behind it, the doorway. Masons say it's a symbol for God, but from what I've seen in gaming symbolism, it is a completely different god.
Another lunatic with a god complex, huh? I already killed one of you today.
You must be folded into my flock before I can share that knowledge.
I said tell me where she is!
Accept my invitation. Return to me willingly. Then we can assume our natural roles. Not as adversaries, but as allies. Farewell for now, Sebastian. You cannot change your past. You can only embrace it. Go toward it. Don't avoid it.
Is that Lily?
I've also noticed a bit of feminist agenda symbolism. In recent times there is this increasing push to make men effeminate and females strong, not character strength, but physical strength. In fashion, games, music, social behavior, to be manly is seen as offensive and misogynistic, and to be a female with male characteristics is praised. I'm sure she can move this heavy object by herself. I'm sure she can hold this big tree trunk by herself.
Hold on, I've got you.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm sure she can lift this big man up with only one hand. No problem. Remember O'Neill, the guy with no empathy towards other humans? He seems to be possessed by Theodore, and after we kill him, he thanks us for freeing him from the voices.
Thank you, Sebastian. Finally, free from his voice.
This for me is almost like a documentary. MKUltra victims also claim to hear voices and be guided by them, unable to control themselves. That is how I think most of the strange shootings happen in the world. The Illuminati order these killings, whether to further a certain agenda or to fulfill an occult energetic ritual. It's pretty messed up and possibly very real. Theodore's base is inside of a flaming tower that looks very much like the Tower of Babel, which was built by humanity in the generations after Noah to reach the heavens. They saw themselves as equal to God, so that project did not end up so well. Theodore does see himself like a god and wants to build a new world in his image. This we can see in his own writings. When I have become the core and built this new world in my image, reality will soon follow. Mobius have already created footholds in all aspects of society, and they were foolish enough to implant themselves with ticking time bombs inside of their minds. They consider themselves wolves and the rest sheep, but I am the herder, waiting to call the wolves when they're not looking. Once Union falls to me, Mobius's days are numbered. Further in Theodore's Abyss, we learn even more things about how useless freedom is, for example. What is freedom? It's a word and a concept rifle with individual meaning, yet utterly meaningless in the scope of time and space. Of course, I disagree with this statement. The thought of being insignificant in the universe is very Luciferian and should be avoided, no matter how convincing these theories may be. The Great Deceiver is very deceiving. Imagine an entire world of converts, Their memories overwritten and reprogrammed, all connected to a central mind, the core. But once you learn his symbolism, it's very easy to spot. After you defeat the Keeper and his safe head lands on the ground, you see another powerful boss by the name of Laura getting out of it. But for me, this is another scene that confirms that Satan gets out of the cube of Saturn. The cube being represented by the safe, and Satan, well, I don't think I need to say anything about that. Throughout the game you find Easter eggs that are symbols of Bethesda's other games. I myself found the Fallout Boy and also the Elder Scrolls logo, which is actually an Ouroboros, which is a snake eating its tail. Official meanings refer to it as nature constantly destroying and recreating itself. Infinite cycle of life and death, etc. But this is a deception. Of course we know that the snake is a symbol for Satan. Thus the snake building a circle means Satan is God.
It means that my investigation got too close to the truth. It means that you may never see me again.
Myra is an example of what can happen if we get too close to the truth. We get called crazy and are eliminated. At the moment, YouTube channels are getting shut down for no reason. Facebook arrests people and blocks accounts for opinions. And we, the conspiracy theorists, are seen as merely just a funny, Illuminati confirmed meme. My channel could go tomorrow because of hate speech and I wouldn't have any chance of getting it back. The years I've spent building it up would be gone to waste. So the game does seem like it's on our side, but the Illuminati always makes truth with deception, and we must be aware of that. Bethesda's company name itself comes from the name of a pool in Jerusalem that appears in the Bible. This pool offered healing to people, so if Bethesda company chooses to have the name of something from the Bible, then why do they like to use the logo of the black cube of Saturn, and why does it publish only games that show a specific understanding of Luciferian doctrine? Fallout, Elder Scrolls, The Evil Within, etc. You play as an occultist, perform black magic and other things that God doesn't like that much. So anyway, one of the last chapters is called The End of This World. And indeed, the world seems to be destroyed and covered with a sky filled with black goo. This is kind of what I think will happen to the real world, so it's a very accurate prediction done by Tango Gameworks and Bethesda. Eventually, the whole world is sucked by a black hole that appears in the ground. The next level brings you into a design that seems to copy heaven in a way. You kind of follow the light until you reach the house on the hill. Very interesting to bring the house on the hill symbolism in a place of light with the soundtrack of peace. Again, this is part of Illuminati's satanic deceptions. Here we interact with the final boss, and soon after, the Mobius administrator is also killed. So yes, the virtual world threatening to connect millions of minds and control them is gone. We win, but do we really? I mean, no one else understands what these symbols are except Satanists and conspiracists. So what's the point? This is way deeper than a few pentagrams. A few pentagrams wouldn't even be worthy of my video. What they show connects to everything that we talk about in the conspiracy community. So there we go. I have nothing else to say. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this contributes to your understanding of how this world works. This is Games Exposed, signing out. By the way, I spent countless hours to make these episodes, so please consider supporting the channel on Patreon, link in the description.
That's perfect. You may very well be the best, detective.